Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 3NSG, and on today's show, we got lots to talk about. Cheaters. We're going to be talking about Battlefield 6 has reportedly sold over 6.5 million copies in the first week. We're going to talk about Battlefield 6 Cronus Zen controversy explained. We're going to watch a video from a content creator called Shorty Index News, who's talking about Battlefield 6 has a cheating problem. We're going to talk about Vince Zampella. The only reason Call of Duty exists is because EA were dicks, and Battlefield boss Vince Zampella says, and we'll see what he has to say. And then also we have almost 99% of Black Ops 7 beta matches were cheater-free, Activision claims. If you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. This afternoon, we will not be having a stream with Mr. Luke. I forgot that I have to take my son to a doctor's appointment. If you guys remember, he got injured back on Mother's Day or whatever, and we've been dealing with it throughout the summer, and I forgot that we have a checkup with him, so I got to go pick him up early from school, so there won't be a stream this afternoon with Mr. Luke. We'll do that again tomorrow afternoon. Also, tonight, Sarge and I will be playing some video games, so we'll come on out tonight. Sorry, not this morning. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern over on 30 and Still Gaming, where Sarge and I will be playing Shooting the Shit with Sarge, whatever that is. We're playing some games tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. What's going on? What's going on, Travis? What's going on, Eclipse? What's going on, Bat? Dustin, Altern, Sarge, good morning. Big Mo, what's going on? Kylo, good morning. Jesse, good morning. All right, so let's start off. I guess, with let's start off with the Call of Duty news. Okay, so the theme today is a lot of the topics are about cheating with the Cronus, with cheating in Black Ops, cheating in Battlefield. Right? So almost 99% of Black Ops 7 beta matches were cheater-free, Activision claims. Now, before I even get to the article, cheating is a very lucrative business. Okay, we've had conversations of this in the past, right? Where if they really wanted to stop the cheating, they could, but they don't, and they won't, right? Because I don't know if they make money directly from the cheating, but they do make money because people buy the game, they play the game, and once you buy the game, it doesn't really matter if you played 5 hours, 5 minutes, well, technically 2 hours, because you can't get a refund then. So it doesn't matter if you played 2 hours, it doesn't matter if you played 200 hours, it doesn't matter if you played 2,000 hours. Once you buy the game, they have your money, right? So if a cheater wants to spend $70 on a video game, they're going to spend $70 on a video game, okay? And then they spend another $30 on the cheat, and they start cheating, and then they get banned. Well, then they can make another account, and they can come back in, right? They don't care. And Activision, EA, anybody that has a game that there's cheaters in, they say they're getting rid of it because obviously if they say nothing, then the fan base is going to be like, oh, well, they don't care, so I don't care. But if they come out and say, we have this anti-cheat program and we're working hard for you to stop the cheaters from happening, and yet cheating happens rampantly anyway, right? So again, once the corporation gets your money, they don't really care if you stop playing after 2 hours or if you stop playing after 2,000 hours. Obviously, if they have microtransactions and whatnot, they would like you to stay a little longer because they want to try to milk you as much as they can. Right, so Activision has released a new statistic that speaks to cheating in Call of Duty Black Ops 7 multiplayer beta, with the company claiming that nearly 99% of matches are cheater-free. Remember when people said there was no cheating in Tarkov, and that guy, we watched the video, did the little wiggle in Tarkov, and then he proceeded to do it, and in every game, there was a cheater, at least one cheater in Tarkov. Remember that? I remember that. Pepperidge Farm remembers that. Okay. So Activision anti-cheat team, Ricochet, said that when the beta began back on October 2nd, about 97.5% of the matches were cheater-free. By the 5th day of the beta, about 98.8% of the matches had no cheaters. And now that the beta has concluded, Activision reported that across the entirety of the beta, nearly 99% of the matches were cheater-free, and the immediate detection time of cheaters was 3 matches. Now, it's amazing that this has come out now, right? Because what's happening with Call of Duty right now? Anybody in chat want to take? What's going on, Jesse? Or Jason, sorry. Para, what's going on? Good morning, Mr. Luke. What's happening with Call of Duty right now? Call of Duty is being kicked while it's down, right? One, you got the microtransaction thing where they're charging too much. You have the skin, right? The identity thing, the no one's interested in the thing, the cheating thing. So all of a sudden, Call of Duty comes out and says, oh, no, we have a free beta weekend this past weekend when Battlefield came out. Oh, and by the way, during the beta and during all this other stuff, our cheating is way down. Because obviously they have to, kind of mitigate what's happening right now because it's just piling on them. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. So they come out and they say a message from Team Ricochet. Okay, we've crunched the numbers for Black Ops 7 beta, and anti-cheat achieved the strongest beta results in Call of Duty history. It's amazing how they never share any of this stuff any other time, except when the buzz starts going, okay? Each day, our cheat detection got faster and your matches got cleaner, okay? The publisher went on to say that the anti-cheat tool in Black Ops 7 beta adapted to improve over time, helping to ensure more players experience the clean matches they expected, okay? Activision added that they also spent years investing and refining the anti-cheat tools and also get where the things are to stand today. And it's not the end. The publisher said it will continue to work in improving the anti-cheat tools so that the people can feel confident that they played a clean and fair match. Remember the example? What's going on, Robert Jones? Remember the example I said? I live in Florida. If I see a body of water, I don't care if it's a puddle or if it's a lake. Okay, I assume there's a gator in there. Okay. No matter if a guy came over and there's a sign that says no gators in there, they still have to post a sign near a body of water because there could be a gator in there. So for someone to come and tell me that there's no cheaters in this game and then you go into a game and you get killed and something looks off and you see the kill cam, you're like, yeah, that guy's cheating. Bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. So it says, quote, we're not done yet. Activision said, Ricochet anti-cheat keeps adapting and protecting your time and your matches, and the most important, earn your trust. There's much more to come. When Black Ops 7 beta went live on October 2nd, people quickly spotted videos apparently cheating in the test. Activision later said that these videos did not represent the current state of the game because accounts in question had already been actioned. Maybe not. Gator in the water. Right? Black Ops 7 multiplayer beta ended on October 9th, but the party rolled on. Black Ops 6 Season 6 and the big Halloween event kicked off that day. A free trial of Black Ops 6 launched on October 9th and runs through October 16th. It's amazing how these correlate with the other one. It's a busy time for first-person shooter fans. In general, the EA's Battlefield 6 launched on October 10th, while the new game from Battlefield veteran Arc Raider lands on the October 30th, and Black Ops 7, meanwhile, arrives on November 14th. First of all, first-person shooter fans in general, and then bring up Arc Raiders, which is a third person, but, whatever. Let's see real quick. Let's see real fast. Is this... Oh, this could also be AI written. So what do you guys think about the cheating in Call of Duty and in or Call of Duty and also Battlefield? We'll get to Battlefield's cheating in just a second. Is it a thing where they're going to wipe it out completely? Probably not, because if they did that, then people that were buying the game over and over and cheating and, pushing people, because a lot of cheaters out there, they just keep getting new, because they're having fun. They just keep getting new accounts and whatnot. And then it pushes off people, right? How many of you had an experience where you felt like you were cheating? You're like, you know what? I'm done with that game. If it's Call of Duty, if it's Battlefield, if it's any other game with cheating, you feel like there's a cheater. You feel like there's a gator in the water, so you don't go skiing, you don't go swimming, because you feel there could be a cheater in there, and it kind of ruins your expectations for that game. Let me know in the comments section. Let me know in the live chat. Are you more hesitant to play a multiplayer game because of cheating? Let me know in the comments section. Like I said, please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Jesse says, cheaters are ass at games because they ain't good at aiming. It doesn't really matter, right? They want to get their fun, so they pay for the money and feel like they're going to dominate people even though they suck at the game. Morning Wonder Rose. Para says Black Ops 7 slop. 180 views right now. 2,405 24-hour peak. 377,211 all-time peak 15 days ago. Roic says, feels like almost every PvP game has some kind of cheating. People will find a way to do it. 100%, Roic. 100%. Morning, Robert Jones. Eclipse says, I mean, you're playing a competitive game. There's probably a cheater. I mean, that's how it is. Either accept it or don't play them. Right? That's exactly right. Yeah, because no one cheated in Borderlands back in the day. Right. Let's see. Eclipse also says, I don't know, Travis. People did it because they can. It doesn't matter if it's PvP or PvE. People like to cheat. 100%. I used to cheat in SimCity back in the day. Put the infinite money glitch in and stuff like that, right? It is what it is. Jason says there's programs that can automatically level you, and you can add any item to your inventory. Nice. Why play the game, right? I've never understood that mentality though, Jason, right? Because I've said the SimCity story before where I played the game. It was hard for me when I was a kid. I found the cheat code, put the money in, and then the game got boring. I stopped playing it because I could do whatever I want, right? So, like, in a game where you could just do everything, it's like, why buy the game now at $70, $80 game if you're really not going to play it, right? You just get everything for free and whatnot. I don't know. Just kind of weird. Travis says, I'm just saying that in PvE game, it doesn't matter as much, but I guess it's fair that anything they can do it. I mean, you're correct. In a PvE game, if you cheat, you're not doing anything but cheating yourself, right? Example, again, in SimCity, the game is the game, but once I put the code in, I had unlimited money, you didn't really play the game anymore. Same with Farm Simulator, right? My son played Farm Sim, but then someone added a mod for the government grant sign that you put on, and you could put a whole bunch of them down, and then you get unlimited money. So because you get unlimited money, you can just buy what you want. Well, the whole point of the game is to run a farm and then run a profitable farm. So you make a farm, grow the product, sell the product, get the money, buy another thing to make your progress easier. If you just get the money and you can buy all the machines, there's no reason to farm. So you don't even farm anymore. You don't even plan anything in the Farm Simulator and that's a single player game, right? But you ruin it for yourself. But in a PvE game, in a single player game, if you want to ruin it for yourself, ruin it for yourself. But in a PvP game, if you're cheating, you're ruining it not just for yourself, but you're also ruining it for everybody else around you. Jason says, it never made sense to me either, but people, if it defeats the whole purpose of grinding and getting the God roll drop, won't feel as rewarding. Right, but a lot of people don't care about that. They just like to brag in this day and age, right? They got it, they take a screenshot, they think, look what I got this thing, even though they didn't actually earn it. But it doesn't matter, right? All right, going from that, let's go to Vince Zampella. I've said in the very, very beginning when Vince Zampella got in, I said, look, I'm a big Vince Zampella fan. I like what he's done, right? Call of Duty is Call of Duty because of Vince Zampella, right? Titanfall was Titanfall because of Vince Zampella. Now, Battlefield is this Battlefield that people like because of Vince Zampella. The guy knows how to make a good game. He does. Okay, you can't deny that. So I was excited when he came over to DICE. Okay, now, I don't really agree what he's doing to Battlefield because I don't feel like Battlefield 6 is a true Battlefield. I believe it's like a hybrid. But again, they hired Vince to make money, and they're doing that, right? They're doing that. So if you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. If you're watching this after the fact and you happen to come across my channel, hit the hype button. That also helps us out here. It's a new feature on YouTube. I don't know how it works, but I know it's there. Okay, but it only happens after the fact when you watch it. And if you'd like to support us in any other way, we do make music on here, AI songs created, but I write the things and the AI songs. We play it in the beginning of the stream. They're pretty catchy. They're pretty fun. If you like to, instead of buying a hat or a shirt or a mug, you can listen to the music. And every time you listen to it or purchase it or buy it, whatever, or download it, it helps us out here as well. So I appreciate it very much. All right. So the only reason Call of Duty exists is because EA were dicks. Battlefield boss Vince Zampella says. I mean, it's straightforward, right? So Battlefield boss Vince Zampella said that Activision's best-selling Call of Duty franchise only exists because EA were dicks. Okay? It's an eye-opening but typically frank statement from Zampella, who, of course, is now an EA employee himself once again. Over his career, Zampella was ping-pong between rival publishers, EA and Activision, working first with EA's Medal of Honor series, which is another fantastic game, and then founding Infinite War and helping create Call of Duty, specifically so it could be Activision's Medal of Honor killer, okay, before returning back to EA after helping create Titanfall and Apex Legends at Respawn, okay? He says, quote, "The only reason that Call of Duty exists is because EA were dicks," Zampella told GQ, reflecting on his career. Zampella initially worked with EA's Medal of Honor franchise from 1999 and 2002 and served as lead designer on the celebrated Medal of Honor Aligned Assault. After this, Zampella co-founded his studio Infinity Ward, okay, with initial plans to continue working on Medal of Honor, left up in the air when EA decided to take development and franchise in-house, okay? He says, quote, "For legal reasons, I will say things didn't go as planned with it," which is crazy to think that what he happened in late 90s, early 2000s, he still can't talk about, okay? So the former Infinity Ward artist Justin Thomas previously revealed of the situation in a MCV interview back in 2013. He said, quote, "We were left in a situation of unpaid milestones that were also delivered and no finances to operate on." And this hasn't changed, by the way. Companies do this all the time, right? There was a couple of years ago, because Metacritic score didn't hit, EA didn't give the bonuses out, right? So it seems like EA is still the exact same company they were all the way back then. Okay, and now they're under new management, so we'll see what happens. Okay, or not yet anyway, but when they get under new management. It was at this point that Activision answered the last-ditch call by Infinity Ward, intrigued by the potential of working with the team behind Medal of Honor, Aligned Assault, and driven by the idea of creating a new franchise that could topple EA's own. Okay, so again, Zampella, the reason that Call of Duty exists is because of that grit of, you know what, these fucking guys screwed me over. They were a bunch of assholes, dicks in his quote, okay? And he wanted to make something better, and this is why Call of Duty exists, right? Which is pretty interesting, okay? So the rest, as they say, is history. Call of Duty became a behemoth. Okay, although Activision and Zampella parted ways following the launch of 2009's Modern Warfare 2, which to this day, in my opinion, is the best Call of Duty game. Okay, and that's when I stopped. Okay, so even back then, when I didn't even know Vince Zampella existed, every game that Vince Zampella has touched, I have loved. Okay, so I guess I'm a big fan of Vince Zampella. All right, later down the road, around 2015-16, I knew who he was, and I was a fan of his stuff, right? So the situation then led to Zampella co-founding Titanfall and Apex Legends developer Respawn, right? You see a pattern here? He was doing with EA. They fucked him over. Then he started his own company, made Call of Duty, then got rid of Call of Duty, then went and started his own company again with Respawn, making Titanfall and Apex Legends. And now he got, well, obviously they got bought up, and now he got pushed over to EA and now to make Battlefield, which used to be a competitor, which is now his baby. Okay, ultimately required Zampella was also reportedly promoted to look after EA's gaming portfolio, ultimately becoming boss in embattled battle franchise, tuning the fortunes around the deliver this month's successful release of Battlefield 6. It makes me wonder, because EA screwed him over all those years ago and didn't pay him out for the bonuses and stuff, it makes you wonder if Zampella is kind of like trying to get one back on EA. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. If he was, he was hell-bent because they screwed him over that he made Call of Duty. But now he's back with EA. And now he's in this opportunity. I wonder. Anyway, Ridley Scott came in at one time, who's a hero of mine, but it's not connected to games. So he asked 3 questions like, how do you script what happens? Zampella recalled. There's also one bit of talk around him doing a Call of Duty film, but he never really took it seriously. Video game movies at this point were never really that good. Battlefield 6 launched last week, and he earned EA as the best ever game launch on Steam, beating the Apex Legends for more, right? What it sounds to me is that Vince Zampella can't lose. Regardless if Titanfall wasn't a success financially, and that's because EA screwed him over, okay, because of where they put it between his old game and now his new game, which is the Battlefield series and the Call of Duty series. Everything this man touches is fantastic. Medal of Honor series was fantastic, okay? The Call of Duty that he worked on were fantastic, right? Apex Legends, when it came out, people loved it. Titanfall, they absolutely loved it. Jedi Survivor 1 and 2, people loved those games. And now he's with Battlefield, and it seems like it's doing pretty well, right? So much so that take it with a grain of salt. But the next thing we're going to talk about here is Battlefield 6 has reportedly sold over 6.5 million copies in the first week. Now, I said 8 to 12, so we're close, and we'll see. We'll talk about this article in just a second. Let me see what you guys, if you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. A clip says exactly, my friend was one of the people that did the Borderlands cheat, and he bragged about the guns he had. Right. But he actually didn't do anything, right? Travis says, 30, question for you. And no offense, but isn't a game almost like a church? Of course, focus on current, but it also doesn't bring a new blood. It's going to die out. That's Battlefield 6. I see what you're saying. But you don't have to really bring in new blood, right? Because if, in your example, right, if you have a family that goes there, you got a mom and a dad, then they have a family. And they have a little boy and a little girl, right? Now there's 4 of them. Then they grow up, right, in that church, and then they have a family. And just the people in that congregate keep expanding. You're not really bringing in new blood. It's just the blood that you have in the church is growing with that church, right? So Battlefield 6, sort of like the Star Wars franchise, you don't need to bring new people in. You have people that were fans, and then they had families, and they were making them fans automatically because they love the brand. But now, because Disney's screwing over Star Wars, they cut off, right? They cut the limb off of where it was growing and sprouting other people that would love that franchise. Okay? So Battlefield 6 doesn't need the Call of Duty players. It just needed the Battlefield players. And the Battlefield players had their sons and daughters that maybe played Battlefield because their dad or mom played Battlefield, just like they played World of Warcraft or just like they played anything else. You introduce the things to your kids that you like, that you believe in, that you love. Hey, read this book. Hey, eat this food. Hey, watch this movie, right? It's the exact same thing across the board. So I wouldn't really say that they need new people. You just need people that like the thing, and then they share the thing that they like to other people. They don't need to bring in a new franchise over here to bring into the people, because that's not really fans. You're trying to make fans instead of bringing fans in. You're forcing fans in. You're forcing Call of Duty players to think that this is Call of Duty, but it's not Call of Duty and it's not Battlefield. Ron said he created Call of Duty. Now he must destroy his creation. That's right, Ron. Right, it's full circle. Which he also could destroy them in the future here by just destroying Battlefield. You see what I'm saying? Because Battlefield, in my point of view, Battlefield is no longer Battlefield. So Zampella comes in, makes a lot of money, but kind of destroys the franchise of Battlefield because of BR, because of Portal. Dan, that's pretty good for Battlefield. It's probably going to go up more than the holiday. Hopefully, but they haven't shown the rest of their hand. We're playing Texas Hold'em right now, Eclipse. Battlefield 6 is playing Texas Hold'em. Right now, the River, right? We're waiting for the River card to come out. They look like they're strong. And they could flip that card. They could be a home run. Or the microtransactions start to come out. They start showing what their real plan was. Battle Royale comes out, and you start to see what it actually is, and then all of a sudden, it folds. We see their bluff, and then all of a sudden, it crumbles around them. But we'll see. Right now, it's looking great for them. Altered says, feels like EA planned on releasing Titanfall, so it could also fail, and they could also buy the studio. Perhaps. Perhaps, Altered. Let's see here. All right, so let's go to this third one here, which is Battlefield 6 has reportedly sold over 6.5 million copies in the first week. Now, I'm going to do some quick math here, okay? Which obviously it's only the first week, so I'm not saying it's a failure in any way, shape, or form. We're just taking the 6.5 reportedly, right? So we got 600 or 6.5 million times, we'll just say 70, okay? That's $455 million. Now, supposedly, the game's well over $500 million, okay? So technically, they need to make about $1 billion, because if it's a $500 million before marketing, just the game itself, we won't double it. We'll do $750 million. They have to make $750 million. Okay, so let's just say 750 divided by 70. They have to sell 10.7 million copies to break even. Now, right now they're at 6.5, and I'm sure they will be profitable by the time it's all said and done, right? Again, we started off at 6.5 in the first week. It could the trajectory, if this was a YouTube video, that graph is going sky high right now. They're like 6.5. But what happens over the next couple of weeks? Does it last? Does it pick it up for the holidays because it goes on sale? But then it's not $70. They could sell 10 million copies, but now they're selling 10 million copies and they're selling 4 million copies at $60 or $50 or $40. Do you know what I mean? So I said 8 to 12 they would sell. Okay. They need to sell 10.7 roughly on the reported budget of 500 plus. Didn't we have a story? Let me look it up for a second. Didn't we have a story of Battlefield 6's budget was well over 600? Hold on a second. Battlefield 6. It says Battlefield 6 has reported budget of $400 million for development. Now, I saw well higher than that. We saw an actual report that said it was like approaching. I remember Krebsy giving me a story. I remember talking about it. Let me see if I can find it in our story category over here. Battlefield 6. It was a couple of weeks ago. Krebsy was talking about it. I want to say it was like 2-3 months ago. It was reported. We talked about it on GXG. I don't know if Krebsy's here. Krebsy would know it off the top of his head. He's pretty good at remembering stuff like this. Let me see. Let me do a quick little scroll and see if I can find it. I remember them closing in. I want to say it was like 550, if not even 600 million, if I'm not mistaken. There's been so many stories of what it is. Right? Let me look. Talks amongst yourselves. Until I find it. Let's see. Battlefield 6 budget. That's gadgets. That's Battle Royale gameplay. You know what? It'll probably be just easier if I put Battlefield 6. No credible source has reported that the budgets over Battlefield 6 exceeds 600 million. Multiple sources of mid-2025 indicated that the game's budget was well north of 400 million, making it one of the most expensive video games ever made, but reported figure is not above 600 million. So there was reports well over 400 million. So, all right, so we'll say 450 million, right? We'll say 450 million. Why not? Okay. So reportedly it's got 6.5. So 6.5, they've made quite a bit of money back, but they haven't hit their mark yet, right? They haven't hit their mark yet. So do I believe they will make a profit? Yes, I do believe they'll make a profit. If it's not off the actual physical copy sales of Battlefield, it will well surpass the actual thing once the Battle Royale comes in and, you know, they actually have the microtransactions, the battle passes, because you look at what EA has been doing with their other franchises, $1 billion in Madden, $1 billion in FIFA. Now, obviously, there's not an Ultimate Team and stuff like that, but there are 20% of the population that are playing Battlefield 6 that will give 80% of the money. Okay, so let's read this now. Okay, let's read this. Battlefield 6 has reportedly sold over 6.5 million copies in the first week. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Right, so according to a new report, Battlefield 6 sales are going to exceptionally well, selling well over 6.5 million copies in the first few days. Now, Battlefield 6 has experienced a tremendous launch, reaching a peak of almost 750,000 concurrent players on the release day of Steam alone. Now, the game is experiencing some glitches and bugs, just like every other game, but none of them have served enough of have affected sales of Battlefield 6, easily pushing millions of units since launch. Now, Battlefield 6's 6.5 million copies translate to over $350 million in gross revenue, says report. Now, as the report, how they get this, because they haven't shared it. So you got to take this with a grain of salt, because Battlefield or EA or DICE, nobody has actually come out physically and said, hey, this is how many we've sold. They haven't actually shared the numbers. So this is not an official report of 6.5. This is an estimate of 6.5. Okay, so 6.5 million units sold through the first few days across PC and console. That translates to over $350 million in gross revenue, the report reveals. Out of all sales, Steam accounted for 56.7%, with more than 3.5 million copies sold and over $220 million in revenue. Now, PlayStation 5 users accounted for 23.7% of sales, with over 1.5 million copies sold. And lastly, Xbox consoles accounted for 19.6% of the sales, with more than 1.2 million copies sold. So what I hear here, though, is that more people on Xbox buy the game, percentage-wise, than the people on PlayStation, right? So if there's 75 million, let's see, 75 million. What is that percent-wise? What is the percent of 1.5 million copies of 75 million? 2%. 2%. Okay, 2%. Okay. So now, what is 1.2 million copies sold of 38 million? Oh, I forgot to say what percent. What is that? That's, I'm sorry. 1.2 million copies is what percent of 38 million? That's 3.16%, right? So you got 2% on PlayStation, you got 3% on Xbox. So that alone already blows the thing off the roof of Xbox guys don't buy games, right? Just putting that out there, right? So more people, percentage-wise, buy on Xbox than they do on PlayStation. So Battlefield 6 has over 3 million daily active users. Report adds that Battlefield 6 has been doing very well in terms of engagement since launch. The daily active users, DAU, on Steam have been constant between 2.3 million and 2.5 million every single day since launch. Moreover, the DAUs on PlayStation have been floating around 1 million as well. In other news, Battlefield 6 is banning Cronus Zen users across PC, console, and additionally, Battlefield boss recently stated that Call of Duty exists because EA were dicks, which we already read about, and we're about to talk about the Cronus as well. But 6.5 million is actually pretty damn good. Again, I said 8 to 12 that they would sell. So let's see what it's doing as far as the Steam numbers. Steam chart numbers here for Battlefield 6. It's not looking fantastic, I'll be honest with you, over the last 7 days. Okay. They've gone down. Can we get a better, what is it, Battlefield? Yeah. So if you look at this is not looking very good. It's getting lower and lower every day, and this is not like months afterwards. This is 5 days. 5 days after. I've watched the content creators that streamed Obviously, on Friday, they were at like 36,000, 31,000, 32,000. Then the next day, they went from that to 15,000, 14,000, 13,000. To the third day, they went down to 6,000, 5,000, 4,000. All right. And then yesterday, I watched them and they were down to 600. Okay. 600 people were watching. If you go to Twitch, there's been 10,000 less people playing the game that were Twitch streamers, okay, that are actually putting content on the actual platform. So something's a little weird here, right? Something's a little weird here. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because of the cheating thing that we're going to talk about in just a second, right? Are people getting bored of Battlefield real fast? I'm not saying, look, every game, if I put every game up here, except for if we look at what's the other game? The free-to-play one? What's the free-to-play one? Delta Force, right? Delta Force, all right? If you look at Delta Force, we did this the other day. This is going up, okay? This is actually going up from what it was to what it is, okay? So they're exceeding what they're doing, and it's a free-to-play game, yes, okay? But it does seem a little strange that when you go to Battlefield, that it's getting lower and lower every single day. Now, is it because of cheating? Is it because it's broken, buggy? Is it because it's not what people thought it was? Is it because of the smaller maps? Is it because we watched the video yesterday of Tactical Brit? There's a lot of problems with the maps. There's a lot of problems with the bloom effect. There's a lot of problems with a lot of things. And a lot of content creators now are starting to come out and say, hey, I'm having fun. They put that up front. But there's these problems. Where when the game first came out, there was no problems. There was, oh my God, I'm having fun. It's so good. You should pick it up. You should do this. You know where I stand. Don't buy day one. Don't pre-order. Don't buy day one for half-ass games. Okay? Which we are making a shirt, by the way. No pre-orders. No day one. No full price for half-ass games. Okay? So there's something odd here. There's something odd here because this is going down the trajectory. This weekend, Arc Raiders comes out for a tech test. It'll be very interesting to see what those numbers come out for an extraction shooter that really a lot of people say they're not interested in. Okay? We'll see what that brings in this weekend for numbers for that game and what happens to this game this weekend. Okay? Then just 2 weeks after that, the actual Arc Raiders comes out. So based on the numbers this weekend, if Arc Raiders does very well, right, I would be very, very scared if I was EA, okay? If I was EA, because if your game is already losing attention of a lot of people, and now Arc Raiders is coming out for a tech test, and then 2 weeks later they come out with a full-fledged game, and then 2 weeks after that, Call of Duty comes out, regardless of what everyone's saying about Call of Duty, if it's good or bad, they don't like the skins. They've been doing the exact same thing for 15 years, okay? And everyone keeps eating it up. I don't think this year's different. I think Battlefield, right now, the trajectory looks fantastic, but when it all comes said and done, they're going to be the exact same numbers they had in the past with all other Battlefield games, and Call of Duty will come out ahead again because it's just a more well-known game, faster pace, a lot more people like playing that game by double, okay? Sometimes triple the amount of people on Call of Duty compared to Battlefield, and this is why I've always said that Battlefield has never competed. Okay, only one time it's competed with Battlefield 4, where it had 17 million units sold. And they still lost to Call of Duty. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens here in the future with Battlefield 6. Again, congratulations getting the 6. I said they were get 8. They got 6.5, so I went over. So if I was praying the prices right, I would be wrong. But I thought they would get 8 million sales, especially for all the hype that everyone was getting. But something's just off. Something just feels off. Okay? Like, games come out, and it's like the wind. It's like, hey, it's almost like a hurricane. I live in Florida. A hurricane comes, and we talk about it. Here's the hurricane. The hurricane's coming. The storm is coming. The storm comes, and then no one talks about it the day it hits. It hits, and then we're just like, it's gone, right? That's what Battlefield 6 felt like. It felt like a giant tornado or hurricane coming, and as soon as it made landfall, people stopped talking about it. Sure, there's content creators making videos, best builds, all this other stuff. I like it. You should bet it, whatever. But you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, it just feels off. Something feels off about Battlefield 6 where Again, the trajectory is like this. And then all of a sudden tomorrow it could be like this. Okay, but right now it looks good. They're on their way to become profitable. They're not profitable yet. I think they will become profitable because of the Battle Royale and everything else that comes into the game monetization-wise. But something feels off here. Less and less people every single day keep playing it. The peak's getting lower and lower. Obviously, this happens to a lot of different games. But 747,000, and then the peak of the next one is 639. There was a little bit, technically on the same time frame. If I go to 16 UTC and I go to 16 UTC again, it's less, and then less, and then less, and then less. You know what I mean? Like, so it's very telling of the way that people play video games, that a lot of people have already lost interest in this game. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think about Battlefield 6, about losing the numbers, but also selling 6.5 million? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Let's see what you guys are talking about here. Let me scroll back up. Roadkill says, what's going on, mother effers? Let's smash that like button. Thank you very much, Roadkill. Roadkill, did you see? I know you said it a little bit yesterday. Did you see the price of silver? You must be very happy right now. You must be very happy. I don't know if you know this. Roadkill, but I accept silver as membership. I accept silver as a membership. Roadkill says they better have a lot more maps with some of the weather system, so that type of money. Well, there is no weather. There is no weather inside the game. Okay? No weather system inside the game. How could you really be pushing away more people buy games on PlayStation and Xbox that I can probably guarantee? How could you really be pushing that way more people buy games on PlayStation and Xbox that I can probably... we just did the math. Percentage-wise, only 2% of the population of PlayStation bought Battlefield. Percentage-wise, 3% bought on Xbox. But there's also half of the actual thing, but more people buy on that's what it is. A clip says, yeah, I've been watching Co Carnage play. I saw him. He had 600 or 700 people on YouTube. Obviously, Twitch is different. It looked awesome, but I know if I buy the game, I'll put like 10 hours into it and stop playing it. So I'd rather just get it a lot cheaper. Yeah, it's a good time to wait. What's going on, Water Bear? Eclipse says, tell Mega Block. Well, let me look at that, right? Right? Obviously, there's games that, I mean, Delta Force went up, right? Delta Force went up. Right? You look at this. Yeah, look. This game has gone up from when it came out to what it is today. Right? It stays pretty consistent with the peaks every day. Look, it's staying, right? Obviously, it's going down a little bit, but for the most part, like Battlefield's not doing this, right? Battlefield's not consistent with these numbers like this. Obviously, they got 5 times more numbers, 7 times more numbers. You're not going to always sit at that peak. Aku says 30. You got to remember, we have a bunch of COD people who are leaving because the devs aren't giving them kill streaks. Doesn't matter, Aku. Doesn't matter. Their player base is going to... We said this before it even happened. Before we even happened with Call of Duty players, I said they would be up high, and then they would go down, and then they would find their plane, which is the same player base they had for other Battlefield games. Right? The only difference is they're trying to go with the Battle Royale. Now, it'll be interesting to see if the Battle Royale numbers fit into the Battlefield 6 numbers on Steam. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's free to play, I wonder if there'll be a separate category for Battle Royale than Battlefield 6 itself. Waterbear says, I think the most of them are just waiting for COD Black Ops 7 to come out. Watch. Maybe some of them will go over to Arc Raiders for a while as well. I think this weekend for the tech test is going to be very telling how much the Battlefield 6 drops. Because then you know. Because if you're a Battlefield fan, man, you're staying with Battlefield. You're a Battlefield hardcore guy, right? If it dips big time, they got to be like, oh shit, right? We're not going to get our 100 million players for Battle Royale or whatnot if this dips this weekend for Arc Raiders, which is an extraction $40 game. Again, they win. EA wins. They're successful because they sold the copies. It's not like they're going to get that money back. People that were Call of Duty fans or Arc Raider fans or whatever, they bought the game. They're playing the game. You can't take away what they got. Hal says, remember how good the Outriders demo was? And then they released it, and there was a ton of issues. Yeah. More people grinded the beta than they did the actual game. Eclipse says, personally, I think it was a lot of Call of Duty players trying it, liked it, and then now they're leaving. And as a company, that's what you wanted, right? EA was like, how do we get these guys to come over to spend $70 with us? They did it. Congratulations. They did it. If that's the case, and if a whole mass of people leave Battlefield 6 because of Call of Duty players came over and then they go back to Black Ops, congratulations, EA beat the system. They got Call of Duty guys to spend $70 in their game, and then they left to go play back to COD. They don't care where you go afterwards. It doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes or fucking 2,000 hours. They got your money. COD is like, we will let you have your fun, but, you're coming back to the Stripper X, right? 100%. Nate Dizzle says, I'm definitely getting Arc Raiders. I'm sure it will flop or be woke like every other game. No, there's no talk about being woke in any way, shape, or form. I don't know why you're so fascinated or infatuated with this woke stuff. If you buy a game, play a game. Don't worry about what people are saying if it's woke or not woke. Has no bearing if you buy the game or you don't buy the game. For you, the customer. For the company, it matters if it's successful or not successful. But if you like a game, buy a game and play the game. Water Bear says, plus it's day and date on Game Pass. What is day and date on Game Pass? Oh, Call of Duty. Yeah. Hal says, if it's true that Arc is a free this weekend, is that only on Steam or all platforms? All platforms, House. This weekend, they're doing a server slam. All right, like Summer Slam. This Saturday and Sunday. Or actually, I think it's Friday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Server Slam, Arc Raiders. Yeah, Arc Raiders, console, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, Server Slam. Nate, if Travis has your back, you're on the wrong side. Just saying. House says, I heard Arc has like 5 different maps now. They're great because the maps are big. Aku says 30. They did ban 333,000 accounts during just the beta for Battlefield 6. Plus, with Cronus being banned, that's going to especially increase. Plus, a lot of COD heads use the device to obviously they are. So let me get this straight. You're which is great going into the next story. Okay, so you're telling me the dip in 330,000 people is all because they were cheating. So the dip is not people losing interest, is that they're getting banned. That's why the difference from what it was Friday. So that looks terrible. If Battlefield 6 has lost that many people, and Call of Duty is saying there's only, what did Call of Duty say? 99%, right? 99% of the matches were cheater-free, and now we're going over to Battlefield 6, and you're telling me there's no cheaters. People are saying there's no cheaters in Battlefield, and we're going to watch a video and talk about cheaters in a second. Ghost 2 is failing because of the same game as the first one with worse story. Going to leave so they don't get banned. Okay. It doesn't matter if they paid for the money. EA wins. They got your money. They don't give a shit if they banned you or not. They'll take your money, say thank you very much, and move on. Durag says every first-person shooter is going to struggle unless cheating is at least a minimal. The integrity of the first-person shooters has been ruined since crossplay has been introduced. Yes and no. There's a lot of cheaters on console, Durag. There's a lot of cheaters on console. A lot of people don't know because they are using these Cronus things. A lot of people think, oh, no, they think of it like an iPhone. They think consoles like, no one cheats no one's hacking your iPhone, right? No, there's hackers on iPhones, but it's not as big as an Android device. But they're there. But people don't really talk about it. There are cheaters on console, but people really don't talk about it because they feel like because you're on a console, you're safe from it. Right? It's always been this bad. It's just now it's a multi-million, if not $100 million industry of cheaters. People sell programs all the time. And again, the cheaters, the people that sell the cheating programs, they don't care if you get caught. They know it's bad, but they're just look, I used to sell candy when I was in middle school and high school. Okay? We weren't allowed to have candy in school. But I sold candy to other kids in school. I knew I was doing wrong, but I was making bank selling candy to other people in the school. Right? Some people are like, you shouldn't sell the candy. It's bad. And other kids are like, I fucking love the candy. I'm going to buy the candy. Right? It's always been a thing. It's always going to be a thing. I'll talk about Sony, Travis. They don't care about the random people on the internet. Sony has not said one thing about Ghost 2 sales. Yeah, it's not official. Just like this is not official with the 6.5. It's based on reviews and stuff else from the analytics. Yeah, I don't think... Let me be clear here, Jason, right? I don't see anything about Ghost failing. I don't see anything about success either. I do think that their budget was 60. Last night on the stream, we were talking about it for a second, right? If Ghost of Yote's budget was $60 million, let's just double that and say it's 120 with marketing and the actual game, right? So 120 million, okay? 120 million, and they said they sold, 2.5, I think is what they said. I think it was 2.5 million copies sold. Right? So that's 175 mil. So if it was 60 mil and it was 120 mil with marketing and whatnot, technically they have to make about 200. Once the stuff is with the marketing, they have to make 240 million. They're at 175. They're okay. They're going to make money. Now, the bigger thing here is 2.5 million sales of your 75 million consoles that are out there. That's bad. That's bad. Look at Nintendo, what they do, right? Nintendo's selling double digits for all their first-party titles to their console base, okay? They're like in the 8%, 10% of first-party titles that get bought by their people, okay? Sony's not getting that. Hence why Sony has to put their games over on PC to make up the difference, right? So I'm not saying Yote is a failure, right? Because right now it looks like it's going to be profitable, easy, okay? But at the same time, to sell 75 million units and you're selling your first party title and only about 2.5 to 3 million people of the 75 to 80 million people are buying it, that's a problem. And they need to figure out how to get more people involved with their first party title games. Aku says, yeah, Yote is supposedly $60 million to make another 60 for promoting the game. That's 2 million sales. That's slightly short. Right. Some of the loss of the interest has also been people get banned from a couple of times I played. I was actually surprised. Aku says, console is the highest number of cheating right now because of so easily acceptable. It takes more to buy an aimbot than it does to get the Cronus. Well, here's another thing people are also not talking about. Remember those articles we talked about new monitors coming out where they can detect and show it's for the visual impaired people? But if you're not visually impaired, but you have a monitor that can mark the targets for you, that gives you an advantage, right? You can see it before you could see it as a human. It's detecting, and you're like, oh, there's someone over there, right? That's a cheat on the monitor. That's not detectable. I used to sell shoes at a discounted price. I got the hookup at the mall, and then split the cost. That's exactly right. You're a hustler, Water. This is why we get along, right? You want to make a buck, you hustle. That's only 2 to 3% buying the game, going back again. Sony guys aren't buying their games. This is what I said earlier, right? 2% is that's bad. Now, obviously for a third-party game, that's fine. First-party game, 2%, you need that up to like 6-7% of your player base. That's awful. That's awful. Same with Xbox though, right? Xbox has got half the amount of players, so it's 38 million, right? And let's say they only sell 2 million, okay, of the 38. Yes, it's a bigger percentage, but they're also only selling 2 million of the 38. That's terrible, right? Especially if they're not even partaking in Game Pass. So companies with first-party titles have a massive problem because the majority of the people are not playing or buying the first-party titles for both sides. Aku says 30. I just need a cat that sits and looks at my screen as undetectable movement detection. Yeah. So let's talk about this now. Right? Let's go to the Cronus thing. Let me get rid of these other articles that we got going on here. We got that one done. All right, the next story we got is Battlefield 6 Cronus Zen controversy explained. All right, now there is a video that I want to watch, but I think I want to read this first before I watch that video. Okay, because I think this tells more. I haven't watched the video, but I wanna read this and then watch that instead of watch that and then read this, because this is newer. I think the other guy made it in like 2 days, 3 days ago, and this is 14 hours ago. So if he's got some problems in that video, maybe it fixes it here, and then we can talk about that when he watches the video. All right. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Okay. So Battlefield 6 Cronus Zen controversy explained. So Battlefield 6 is reportedly banning players detected using Cronus Zen devices across both PC and console. All right. The purported move sparked some controversy on social media, positioning Battlefield 6 as one of the first titles in recent years to actively counter a perception of Cronus Zen as the undetectable cheating method. Now, this is very smart of them because, again, it's right off the bat. They're putting out PR as, hey, we're doing this. We're fighting this. So what that registers to people that are playing that might be on the fence of, I don't want to play a first-person shooter. It's not because of Battlefield 6. It's because of all other Battlefield games or Call of Duty games or any first-person shooter game. They're like, I don't really know if I want to get this game because there's going to be cheaters, right? So they're coming out right now and saying, hey, look, we're fighting this, and we can detect these things, right? So now if you're a person that has a Cronus, you're like, I'm going to call their bluff, right? I'm going to play it and see if they detect me. And if they do detect you, they basically boot you, but then you can come back, make a different account or whatever, okay? This is why a lot of people like battle royales and stuff like that, because they're free to play. So it doesn't matter if they get banned. They just start another account, different email, whatever else, right? So Battlefield 6 reportedly banning players. Already read that part. It says, as one of the first titles in recent years, actively perception of Cronus Zen as also an undetectable cheating method. The Cronus Zen is a plug-in input adapter commonly used to extend controllers with scripts and macros recording series of inputs. By spoofing gameplay signals, it can also provide advantages such as rapid fire or recoil nullification. Because its design circumvents the common detection mechanisms, the Cronus Zen has also become one of the most widely used cheating tools in first-person shooters since May of 2020. Now, a lot of people don't talk about this, right? Aku's always brought up in our channel, and he's been here for years. He said there's a lot of people using this device, right? It's like $60 to $100 or whatever it is, right? People pick this up because that's how they want to play. They want to shit on people. They want to be better. They want to make it look like they're better. They might be a streamer that, hides it off screen so they can show their screen so it doesn't show the hit walls and stuff like that, but it can't detect that they're cheating on the back end or whatnot, whatever it is, okay? So within days of Battlefield 6 critically acclaimed October 10th launch, reports have emerged that EA's latest first-person shooter is banning Cronus Zen users. Although one of the widely circulated screenshots supposedly attesting to this development has also been accused of being AI-generated, dozens of online testimonies claim that the Cronus Zen developers have issued a notice to their customers warning them not to use the device in Battlefield 6 while they conduct further testing. Okay, and this is like a cat and mouse game type of thing, right? Because now the Cronus guys are like, well, how can they detect it? We gotta try to not get detected because we're losing sales, right? And then these guys make it better, and then these guys are like, well, we gotta stop the Cronus because they're changing their thing because they're gonna help us or stop us from getting sales and ruin other people's experiences, right? So it's like this cat and mouse game that's always gonna happen. Okay. So it says, not using the device in Battlefield 6 to conduct further testing. Game Rant has unable to verify this claim. It says, Mark Lawson, is it true that the Cronus Zen developers are warning against playing Battlefield 6? I just don't think that image is real. It says, hi, everyone. I currently advise all Battlefield 6 players, especially those on PC, using Zen with any of the latest scripts and pause usage for now. Myself and the team are actively testing. Again, they're saying that this is fake or not. I don't know. You decide if it's fake. It looks fake, and the reason people are saying it's fake is this, I would assume, right here. The MTash, right? The MTash and the way they do certain things when AI writes stuff, right? That people don't know what they're doing, okay? And again, the more that I talk about it and the more that other people talk about it, people will fix it so you don't know it's AI. But this does seem like AI because, again, normal humans, when they type, they don't use the MTash when they actually type. Okay, looking at the official Cronus Zen support Discord server, the only mention of Battlefield 6 is that they came from the Cronus Zen team suggested the opposite to be the case. No bans reported when using on Battlefield 6 beta pack. One of the developers wrote on October 14th. Okay, so which one is it? Okay, which one is it? So it says the screen grab warning currently making the rounds on social media may have originated from a different Discord server or private channel reserved for Cronus Zen owners. While the jury is still out on the variancy, Game Rant can confirm that multiple users complained about being banned in Battlefield 6 via the official Cronus Zen support Discord server. None of them clarify on circumstances of other suspensions, making it unclear if they were possibly sanctioned or different reason. One of the Cronus Zen developers alleged that the case claimed that Battlefield 6 players are being banned for using unsafe scripts. All right, the ban wave has sparked some online controversy. While many fans are celebrating a reported crackdown, some players have turned to a social media revive a long-standing debate over what contains of cheating, arguing that accessories like the Cronus Zen fall into a gray area. Look, if you're using this in a game, then, again, I look at the water, I'm going to say there's a gator in there, even though there might not be a gator in there. If you're using this device, I don't care if you're using it to use it for a different game. If you're using this device and you're defending it, then I'm going to assume that you're cheating in some way, shape, or form because you don't have to play this game with that system on. But that's just me, right? These views, however, appear to represent a minority of the overall response. EA previously confirmed that Battlefield 6 would launch with an appropriate anti-cheat system, but without elaborating on its specifics. You don't want to elaborate because if they elaborate, then the people that are doing the hacks can try to figure out what you're using. They're going to figure it out anyway, but they don't want to make an announcement of it. Okay. The publisher has also yet to confirm that it's indeed cracking down on the Cronus Zen users, right? So here we are. There's people saying that they're cracking down and using it and stopping people from using this thing, and other people are saying, no, it's never happened. People from Cronus themselves have not said anything, and the people... It could be as easy as, look, we're trying to deter people from breaking into my house, right? So some of you might have a security system, but not actually a security system. All you have is a sign that says we have a security system, right? Some people will look at that and go, I'm not going to break into that house. They have a security system. Then the people that actually know will be like, they don't have a security system. They just have a sign, and they're going to break into the house. That's just what it is, okay? There's a difference between saying something's actually happening and doing the actual thing. So a lot of people are saying that the Cronus Zens are getting debanned. Other people are saying that's not happening at all. So if I put a faulty sign out there, which is easy to create and put on the internet, and get it out there saying, hey, if you're using this thing, right? And it might not even be EA. It might not even be DICE or anybody. It might be someone that's just so pissed off at people cheating. They're like, you know what? I'm going to make something that says that Cronus guys are being cheated because they were being cheated on, to scare them off by putting a sign up saying, hey, if you're using this device, you're gonna get banned. Word of mouth starts to happen. They're like, oh man, did you hear? Did you hear? If you're using the Cronus Zen, you're gonna get banned, right? It's as easy as that, right? So, is it happening? I don't know, right? I think there are cheaters. I always think there's cheaters. Okay, there's always gators in the water. Okay, so what do you guys think? Do you think people are actually getting banned for the Cronus Zen? Do you think it's just to scare people off? Do you think that they can actually detect these things? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of other videos. Thanks for watching. Aku says 30, the Cronus Discord is on fire. They're trying to figure out how to get around the detection, but detecting it is easy as fuck. There's no confirmations on either side. There's no confirmation that they're banning people with Cronus, and there's no confirmation that they're being banned using the Cronus. It's all speculation right now. So even if their Discord's on fire, there is no official word that people are getting banned for the Cronus. There's no actual evidence of this. There's people saying it, word of mouth, like a game of telephone, but there's no actual evidence and no confirmation from the evidence that say, yes, we are banning people. Like, why wouldn't Battlefield come out? Why wouldn't they come out and say, yeah, we're banning people, don't do it? They haven't confirmed yet. Robert Jones says it took them like 3 years to ban Zen from Rainbow Six. If you play PvP, you're a cheater. You heard it here. People use Cronus Zen just for advantages and no other reason. Oh, I'm sure there's someone using it for some other reason, House, and they'll defend it. Original device was just a mouse. Then they started adding cheats and scripts. The mouse alone is arguably cheat alone. 30, all the confirmation I need is that the leadership is looking to get around detection. Again, in this article that was written 14 hours ago, either side has not confirmed that it is actually happening, Aku. So the word of mouth that's happening, you can say it's happening, but there's no official word that they are banning people. There's no confirmation that they're trying to get around it either. It's just word of mouth. I got banned. And people are like, well, why'd you get banned? Well, I was using the Cronus Zen. That could be a reason. But it could be other reasons as well. There's no confirmation on either side. And until there is, I can't sit here and tell you, well, this is the reason. Because it's not until it is. All right. We got a video here by Battlefield 6 has a cheating problem. Okay. This is from a user called Shorty Index News. Very small channel. We don't watch. I'm a small channel. This is a smaller channel than mine. So if you guys like this channel and you like this video that we watch, make sure you go over to this channel, give it a like, give it a subscribe. Okay. All the links are in the description down below. All right, so let's watch this.
This out.
Hold on.
Hey, check this out.
Okay, so if you guys can't see right off the bat, let me pause it there for a second. Do you guys see what the problem is right here? Do you guys see a problem? Go ahead and blurt it out when you see the problem on the screen. Just fair, just putting things together. No, I get it. You can put it together. I'm totally with you, Aku. But to say that this is happening or not happening, I can't confirm or deny on either side. Not because I know, it's because I don't know. Now I can make an educated guess and go, yeah, there's a gator in that water, and I'm from the side of there are cheaters, and they are getting banned, but there's no proof of that, which is a major problem, because admitting that you're banning the people means that people are getting around the cheating and they're going through it. Okay, sure, it's only been 5 days and they're getting it and they're getting them. But to say that you have this thing and it stops cheaters and yet cheaters are in the game and they're getting away with it, does more harm than good. If you're telling me that you're stopping cheaters, but yet there's a shit ton of cheaters in the game. Luke says, people who post on X to show them being banned. Yeah, but they don't know why they're being banned. They assume that they're being banned because they're using this, but they could be using multiple things. They're only admitting, oh yeah, it's the Cronus Zen. It has to be. Salty says, and don't forget, if you're cheating, let's hope your bullets are actually registering because they probably aren't. As is there a patch to fix has been deployed yet. Yeah, but if I can shoot faster, Salty, I have a better chance of still landing more shots than you because I have more bullets. I don't have to reload. Cheaters will always find a way too well to cheat. You're stopping it until they find another way. Yeah, it's always a cat and mouse game. Always. All right, so if you guys can't tell, he's got a wall hack on. He's got detection. You can see all the people all over the place. Look, got wall hacks all over the place. And he's got a tank. And he's just murdering people left and right. I have a question. How is he hitting people here? How is he hitting people here? There's a wall. That wall doesn't break. How is he getting hit markers?
Hello and welcome to the video. Obviously, cheaters have
All cheater clips are weirdly low res. I assume most of them are kids being paid to advertise the cheats. Okay?
taken over Battlefield 6. Now, there's going to be people that go, I haven't versed one cheater. And then they're going to try to nullify the entire problem. There's a lot of cheaters inside the video game. Let's be real with you.
Again, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it 1,000 times. There's a lot of gators in that water. If I see one or not, there's a lot of gators in that water.
There's a ton of PC cheaters and there's a ton of Cronus users inside of this video game. The difference is that PC cheaters are very blatant and obvious, like you saw in the intro clip and the clips that are playing right now on screen. And Cronus users hide and run around like cockroaches pretending they're good at the video game when everybody can blatantly see that you are using one. That's the only difference, but both sides exist. But the real question is why are we giving these companies
Is it on 2 times, or is he just a fast talk? He's just a fast talker.
access to our BIOS of our consoles and our PCs in order for them to be able to
That's true. Right? Listen to what he just asked there, right? Hold on a second.
you are using one. That's the only difference, but both sides exist. But the real question is why are we giving these companies access to our BIOS of our
Exactly right. Right? So I wanted to play Battlefield 6 on my PC during the beta, but I couldn't because of the software that I had to use. It wouldn't let me. Okay? And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. It's just easier. I'll go play on the console. Okay? I had to give them access to my BIOS, sort of like Borderlands and everything else. Why am I giving access to my computer? Okay? Why am I giving access to my computer so you cannot protect me? Where a cheater can just do the thing and cheat, regardless if they give their access or not. You know what I'm saying? This is like the gun laws, where I gotta jump through more hoops to get guns. But the criminals just grab a gun, right? But because they do more crimes, I have to get more. I have to go through more stringent progress of getting a gun, right? I gotta go through the whole process. Same with cheating, right? I gotta give you access to my computer. I gotta give you access to all my BIOS. I have to give you access to all this other stuff, so I'm protected from cheaters. But yet here it is, cheating.
our consoles and our PCs in order for them to be able to say that they're going to have a secure boot and they're going to, make the game safer by having kernel level anti-cheat when there hasn't been a single solitary multiplayer release that has released and had
True. There hasn't been one release that stops it from people cheating.
zero cheaters. In fact, cheaters are so prevalent that they are literally coming within minutes of betas being out. It was
Call of Duty just had the beta, right? And there was cheaters within seconds of that. Right? It makes no sense to me. Hey guys, I'm gonna put this thing up so you're protected. And then all of a sudden, as soon as you put the thing up, someone comes in and busts in and kills you. Oh well. Sorry, didn't protect against that.
less than 2 hours into the Call of Duty beta, and there was already massive amounts of cheaters inside of that game running around doing crazy shit. Now, here we are, less than 24 hours after the launch of Battlefield 6, and we're back in the same exact
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you shut off crossplay or not, Charles. There's a lot of cheaters on console. Always has been. You might have just came in, but earlier I said that everyone thinks like if you have an iPhone that you don't get hacked or there's no viruses and stuff like that. There's less viruses because of the percentage of people that have or use that device, right? There's more viruses on the Android and stuff because it's more of an open platform and whatnot. People think that console is protected from actual cheaters. It's not. There's a ton of cheaters, okay, on multiplayer games on console. But you have that mindset of, well, no, I'm on console, so there's no cheaters.
problem. There's cheaters everywhere. In all reality, it should come down to the fact that the anti-cheat should be able to pick up on somebody doing this. Like, hey man, this tank is sitting on the one side of the map and he's literally headshotting every single person he shoots at. That seems a little bit weird. Let's pull him and check his...
They don't take the time like that though, right? What is this guy's name? What's this creator's name? Index? Shorty Index? They don't do that. There's no way they will take the time as a EA developer, DICE developer, have someone go, oh, let's detect. Well, we detect. There's not like there's a wall of alerts that happen. Whoop, whoop. Oh my God, there's someone cheating in our game. They don't care. And when I say they don't care, it's the percentage of, are these people affecting our bottom line? No? Let them have fun. Right? When the percentage gets too high and people start to notice more, people start making videos, people start doing stuff, they're like, all right, send it out. We need to officially say something. Hey, we're fighting the cheaters. We got your back. We've done this many pings. This is what we're doing, right? No one's looking at, index 420 and going, this guy was in a tank that round. You see this, Chuck? This guy's cheating over here. That's not happening. That is not happening. Okay. They just look at it and go, yeah, he's in a tank. Got a lot of kills. Right? Even when you play the game and you see someone at the top of the board, you're like, oh, he must be in a vehicle. He's got to be in a tank. He's got to be in a vehicle. He's got to be in a helicopter or jet. Right? 70-0. You're like, yeah, he's in a thing. Right? That could be a cheater. That could be a guy in cheating. Or it could be a guy that's just really good at a tank or really good at flying a copter or a jet.
Analytical data. We'll remove him from the match for doing this, because simply the rate in which he's getting kills is just way over and above what any human being can do, so why wouldn't the anti-cheat be able to pick it up? There's a reason why the new trend that I see a lot in comment sections of multiplayer videos is that people don't play them anymore because there's no point. And truthfully, I do genuinely get this concept.
I talk about this all the time as seeing the wizard behind the curtain, right? You're playing the game, you're enjoying the game, and then all of a sudden you get killed. It's a little sus. And you're like, maybe the guy's cheating. Maybe that's a cheater. No, I see. I saw. He peeked out. He got me. All right, cool. Whatever. Then it happens again. Then it happens again. Then it happens again. And you're like, man, I can't do anything in this game, right? So you quit. Then you watch a video that says, oh, there's cheaters. And you're like, and you're justified in your head. You're like, oh, yeah, there's cheaters there. And then another game comes out. And you're like, the last game was cheating. Maybe this game. So you start playing. You're like, oh, this is so much fun. You're 4 hours in. And all of a sudden, boom. Cheater. You're like, nah, he wasn't cheating. Right? But once you see that cheater, once you see the wiggle from Tarkov, you're like, oh man, is that guy cheating? Is that guy cheating? Anytime you get a sus shot behind the wall, long shot range, okay, they look at it and go, this guy's cheating. If it is or not, it doesn't matter. It starts to taint your vision of what you're playing. So then people are like, I'm not going to play PvP anymore. I'm not playing PvP anymore. Hence why more people, older people, are drived more towards PvE or co-op games because they don't want to deal with this time because of respect players' time. I don't want to pay $70 for a multiplayer game and then be in that game and then get cheated every single time instead of being a fair playing field. It ruins it for everybody else. But the person that's cheating doesn't care because they're having fun by cheating.
As what's the point in trying to play these games when the cheaters are able to get comment section? Why wouldn't the anti-cheat be able to pick it up? There's a reason why the new trend that I see a lot in comment sections of multiplayer videos is that people don't play them anymore because there's no point. And truthfully, I do genuinely get this concept as what's the point in trying to play these games when the cheaters are able to get in here? The only people being affected by all the extra steps that are going into
the non-cheaters. Everyone being affected are the non-cheaters.
Making video games and being able to play said video games, it's the normal, everyday, average person who's not cheating. Yes, it's you that has to make sure that you have the secure boot. It's you that have to allow them to have access to your...
That's right. You have to have access to my computer. You have to have access to all my information, so I'm protected by from the cheaters. Yet the cheaters are in the game, and yet you have my information now. But I'm sure it's okay. I'm sure it's very protected, and you have all my information, and it'll never leave your hands. I'm sure you're not using that data in any way, shape, or form to figure out anything else that you could manipulate my account, email, or anything like that. I'm sure of it. I'm sure there's rules in place, right? Right?
BIOS, but the cheaters, they don't give a shit. They just spoof it and they make a million accounts. And, you know, companies like EA go do something stupid like allowing Battlefield 6 to be on Game Pass day 1. Sorry, day 2. And we're sitting here going like, what the hell's the point? Cheaters can spend $30 and make infinite accounts. Why?
Right.
Because all these companies keep releasing free-to-play modes like Battlefield 6 is going to have a...
Yeah, wait till the Battle Royale comes in. Wait till the Battle Royale comes in. That'll be interesting.
Battle Royale that's going to be free to everybody, and through that the cheaters get access to every single thing that we have. I'm just getting a little bit frustrated at this point with the
Index here has seen the wizard, right? He's at the point he's broke, and I'm not making fun of him. He's fed up. He's like, fuck this shit, man. I come out, I buy this game, I pay my hard-earned money for this game. I come in, I'm enjoying it for a couple hours, and then boom, a cheater. Right? It's almost better. It's almost better if a game is not super popular in multiplayer assets, or like in access, sorry. Because if it's not popular, then majority of the people are not playing it. And if they're not playing it, there's less cheaters, right? There's still cheaters, but there's less prominent of cheaters because they're not all streamers or people trying to make a name for themselves or get a clip or get it, whatever, right? So it's almost better if a game is not popular and then just the core audience is like, leave me alone. I'm going to be in the corner playing my favorite game.
anti-cheats that these games are apparently putting out. You got Call of Duty over there saying
Exactly, Eclipse. Of course, 30. Just let us do our digital ID. Nothing will go wrong. That's right. The reason you need the digital ID, Eclipse, is so we can protect you. So you don't get hacked. So you don't have to deal with the cheaters. And meanwhile, the cheaters come in and they do exactly the same. But now you also gave up your stuff. Congratulations. You've been played.
oh, we have Ricochet anti-cheat, and we have a new and improved cheating system. We're going to use AI to detect cheaters. And where's the AI detecting this? Because, man, AI can sure tell if I type in Arc Raiders.
Yep, Aku, when we played together in Battlefield 2042 and other ones, we're like, that looks a little strange. That looks a little odd. Sarge says, everybody cheat, problem solved, game will die, people stop buying games, they know everyone will cheat, and then they stop making those types of games. Yeah, that's it.
Into my chat, but AI can't find the guy that's beaming people with a frickin' tank from across the entire Manhattan map? Weird. At this point, it's hard not to agree with the conspiracy theorists that say that the companies are allowing cheaters into the game because it helps drum up some sort of PR, and any PR is good PR. And if you truly...
That's true. Let me rewind that for a second. Let me say it again, and then I'll comment on it.
Find the guy that's beaming people with a frickin' tank from across the entire Manhattan map? Weird. At this point, it's hard not to agree with the conspiracy theorists that say that the companies are allowing cheaters into the game because
I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. You can call me a conspiracy theorist, okay? That is not a conspiracy theory, okay? That is actually happening because it's a multi-million-dollar business, okay? Multi-million-dollar business.
Not to agree with the conspiracy theorists that say that the companies are allowing cheaters into the game because it helps drum up some sort of PR, and any PR is good PR. And if you truly look...
Because you got to look at this and go, someone looks at this and says, oh, there's fucking cheating. Other people look at this and go, oh, I can cheat in this game? Well, that looks fun. It's $30. Sure, why not? Why not? You know what I mean? Ron says cheating should be packaged as DLC. In this season 1, you two could do the wall hack. Which actually they put that in the actual game in Battlefield 2042. Quintar says another reason why getting not allowing community ran servers sucks. Bring back real dedicated servers. Oh no. Right? Quintar, what happens now is, see, make the problem, sell the solution, right? The problem is there's cheaters in the game. Well, if you want to fix this, right, then make your own server in Portal, because if a cheater is detected, you can just boot him from your thing. If you think that guy's cheating, the person that owns that server can just kick that person. Okay? Make the problem, sell the solution. The solution is, if you don't like the game that we created with bad maps, really shitty performance, all this other stuff, you can make the map in Portal, problem solved. You can make the rush map, hardcore, better, all the stuff that you're missing from the actual game that they should be doing, you could do in your own Portal map. Okay? Make the problem, sell the solution. The solution is everyone gets their own server in Portal. So you could just boot anyone or who you want or what you want in your own server. Problem solved. We don't have to maintain the actual cheaters. If you don't like the cheating, go to Portal. If you don't like the cheater in your Portal game, kick them. It's fucking asinine.
At it from a PR standpoint, then it all kind of works out in benefit of the company, because let's look at it as a three-part problem. Cheaters getting into the game make what happen. It makes people like me make videos, news channels make videos, and other content. And
you made a video, now I'm watching the video, so now it's double the thing. So I'm not really helping the situation, but I am helping the situation because I'm showing it that there is cheating going on, but yet I'm now promoting more to people that want to cheat.
Creators make videos covering the fact that cheaters are inside of this video game. In fact, there's entire niches like It's Happa or what used to be Call of Shame that are dedicated to exposing cheaters. Through this, it drives up some sort of attention to the video game, whether good or bad. People are going to go see if the cheating problem is...
I mean, you understand, like, forget the wall hack, forget the Cronus, forget the thing. There are monitors that do exactly what you're seeing right now. There are monitors where he sees the things that you're seeing that you won't see because the capture card goes in. Okay, on stream, he's looking at a regular screen. Okay, but on his actual monitor, not the Cronus, not anything else, it's showing boxes and stuff like this for people that are visually impaired that want to play video games. Now, a knife is a knife, unless you put a knife in someone's a murderer and uses the knife to kill somebody, right? A monitor is a monitor, and the visually impaired people that are using this so they can play video games, it's a fantastic device. For people that are like, you know what, I can play video games now because I can kind of see what's going on, okay? But now, people can buy the monitor, and it can detect the actual thing on the screen, and you're seeing exactly what they're seeing, like this. But they're not cheating, and you don't know they're cheating, so it's not really they're cheating. Huh?
As bad as it is, other people are going to talk about how bad the cheating is, which then gets around word of mouth. Call of Duty's been running this advertisement technique for about 5 years now and has been working flawlessly with it. Then the companies get to do another tagline when they do a mass ban wave of banning all these cheaters, and they say, we ban.
See, my problem is, why are we blurring out people that are cheating? Do you know what I mean? Now, obviously, maybe he's not blurring out. The guy who's made the video is not blurring it out. But the person that picked the clip, now he's showing you that he's doing it, right? But someone could look at the names of these people and then go back and try to find who they play. They could narrow it down, okay? Real simple, right? Because on EA's end, they know what match you were in and who you were with and what group you were in. It's easier to get rid of these people than they think. But they don't want to take the time to do it.
637,000 cheaters. But at the end of the day, that's...
I'm sorry, how many cheaters?
Been working flawlessly with it. Then the companies get to do another tagline when they do a mass ban wave of banning all these cheaters, and they say, we banned 637,000
Oh, right. Call of Duty did that a couple months ago.
Cheaters. But at the end of the day, that's only the 637,000 that they caught. It was kind of like Call of Duty saying that they've banned 97%.
Right, they make it sound like we banned everybody. No, you didn't.
Of the cheaters, but that's only 97% of the cheaters that you caught, and you didn't.
Yeah, 97% of the cheaters you caught, not 97% of the cheaters.
Didn't even get 100% of the cheaters that you caught using cheats. There should be some sort of feature within each game that allows you to report somebody and have a certain amount of...
Problem with this is, I understand what he's saying. You should be able to report someone cheating. Travis would love this, right? He did this in Marvel Rivals, and I'm not making fun of you, Travis, right? If there was something that you could report someone that was cheating, you would have to have 100% evidence that they are cheating, right? You putting a note out there, enough people have to report that person before it gets flagged, okay, inside the EA server. And then the EA servers guys go, oh, let's do a manual review. Let's see what this is. He didn't cheat that bad. He didn't cheat that bad, right? Because again, gator in the water. I'm going to report a gator in the water, even though I don't know if there's a gator in the water. I can see him, but I can't see him, right? Gators go in water. Water's there. Gator must be in the water. You get shot. You get hit. Cheater. You didn't see the cheating, but you're like, I feel like that guy's cheating. So now you report the claim that this person's cheating. Well, if you're the only person reporting that he's cheating and no one else is reporting, well, then it doesn't really matter because they're like, no big deal, right? So there's a massive problem with actual cheaters. And people think that they're being cheated because every time you get killed, you're going to think, well, that guy's cheating. Aku says 30. Companies have no name and shame policy. I have a belief that we should name the scumbags in the air and dirty laundry in the public square. Shame is a useful tool in correcting action. 100%, Aku, I'm with you, 100%. Right? If someone breaks the law or breaks a rule or is cheating in the video game, then you say, hey, dickhead 106 here is cheating. And you show that he's cheating. Okay? Until something happens. Because if nothing is done, then more people cheat. More people do the thing. Water's going to find the lowest point. It's always going to happen. Gamers are always going to game. And if I could cheat, because, again, how many people have we watched that have interviewed cheaters, and you ask the cheater, why are you cheating? They said, well, I cheated because people were cheating against me, and I've been cheating for 3 years, and no one's caught me. They don't care. So that goes out to other people. Oh, well, they're cheating and they don't care. Boom. Advertisement. Well, yeah, I'm going to cheat too. Because if they can't take them out, then I'm going to become a cheater as well. So then if everyone's cheating, then no one's cheating because everyone has the same fair advantage. Right? And if the cheaters are now being seen the same way they are seeing other people, well, then they would get bored. They would leave because they're not having an advantage anymore because now everyone has a wall hack. Right? And that's the problem. So the more that goes up, the less people would cheat. Like Sarge said, let everyone cheat. Let everyone cheat. That means no one would play the game because everyone's cheating and everyone's like, well, this is stupid, right? Nobody wants to be competitive because people that want to be competitive actually want to cheat so they become better, so they think they're better because they just want to have fun. But if everyone's cheating, then they're not having fun anymore because now they're competing again. You see how retarded it is?
Reports hit to get somebody out of your lobby that is doing this. But the problem is that whenever you try to have a legitimate conversation about cheaters that exist inside of a video game, you reach into the 7% of the cheaters, but that's only 97% of the cheaters that you caught, and you didn't even get 100% of the cheaters that you caught using cheats. There should be some sort of feature within each game that allows you to report somebody and have a certain amount of...
Yeah, but how would you do it?
Of a reports hit to get somebody out of your lobby that is doing this. But the problem is that whenever you try to have a legitimate conversation about cheaters that exist inside of a video game, you always get the weird people that come out and they say what ifs. You get a...
Oh, yeah, the what ifs. What if he's just using it for this? What about if he's not using that thing for that? What if it's just...
whole bunch of the what ifs arguments. Let's take that tank gameplay, for example. Even though on screen we can clearly see this person has wall hacks and aimbot and they're clearly cheating inside of the video game, some other person is going to go, I've done that before.
Well, it's my, what if it was my 5-year-old that wanted to play the game and he wanted to have a good time? What if?
Or I've popped off like that. What if I got reported by the lobby and then...
Right. I wasn't using wall hacks. I popped off like this, just like I said earlier. 70-0. You just assume jet, copter, or tank, right? You're like, oh, 70-0. That dude's crushing it. He's in a tank. I'm not assuming that guy's in a tank cheating.
I got removed and I wasn't cheating. Maybe I just had a good game. Or you can take this one clip here where the guy's running around with a shotgun and he's clearly cheating and he's clearly got aimbot and he's clearly got wall hacks on. And you're going to get somebody else that says, well, I don't want to be falsely flagged for running around. I've done that before and I'm not cheating. I'm a...
Right. Why are you defending it? If you're a person that is a person legitimately doing it, why are you defending the person? You could tell if someone's cheating and not cheating based on how they move, the way they actually react. If a guy's sitting behind the wall and he's just strafing, okay, and he's killing people, he's a cheater. If you're a guy that's behind a wall, comes out of the wall and shoots 3 people and then ducks behind the wall, and you're getting 70-0 kills, well, guess what? You're a good player, and the other person's a shitbag.
Totally legit console player. And I've never once cheated like that, but I would be pretty pissed if I got reported because I did a play like that.
I feel that if you're caught cheating, then you have to defend yourself to get back into the thing, right? Because if you're not cheating, you would fight for it. If you are cheating, okay, you wouldn't care of a shit. You would just go make another cheat. Do another hack.
And because of these absolute thud fucks that do this, it's kind of watered down the actual argument to be had here, which is why are companies even allowing this to happen? Like, this is not hidden. This is blatantly obvious. They're all bragging. All these companies are bragging about the AI detection that they have and the anti-cheats that they've implemented and how robust and improved it is and how...
What I really like is when you play on hardcore, there's no kill cam. So a lot more people are going into hardcore using the cheats because there is no kill cam. See, when you have kill cam, if you can't see, again, you can see the movement of the person. You can tell. You know what I'm talking about? Like when you're going up against bots, you can tell it's a bot. A bot moves different than a real person. Well, someone cheating moves differently than a person that has skill.
Great, it's going to be at detecting cheats, yet it can't detect this. It literally cannot detect and tank with aimbot. How can you not detect a tank with aimbot?
Right.
Maybe like users using shotguns and running around the map like footies, maybe that's a little harder to detect, but how do you not detect a tank with aimbot? And what makes it worse is these pathetic absolute fucking losers that are selling these cheats literally don't even...
See, I don't understand why you people keep defending there's no cheats on console. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. Why do you think there's no cheaters on console? How ridiculous do you have to be to think, oh, there's no cheaters on console? There's more cheaters on console than PC. Do you know why? Because a fucking console's cheaper than a PC.
Know how to play the video game. At certain points, you would see in this tank clip, he's shooting the wall because he thinks it's just a destructible wall, even though it's not. Cheating has just gotten so out of hand, it's not even funny. Now, the other argument that this always boils down to is turn crossplay off, but all you're doing then is you're just removing the blatant software.
Right.
You would see in this tank clip, he's shooting the wall because he thinks it's just a destructible wall, even though it's not. Cheating has just gotten so out of hand, it's not even funny. Now, the other argument that this always boils down to is turn crossplay off, but all you're doing then is you're just removing the blatant software PC cheaters and instead going for the cockroach Cronus users, and then you...
The cockroach Cronus users.
Just really trading one evil for the other. Hell, there's even clips like this one. I'm gonna let you guys watch this clip and see if you guys consider it's cheating.
To turn off the depth of field chat, all you do, go into your documents, go to Battlefield 6, go to settings, Steam, and go to Prof Save file. You'll open this in Notepad, and it's right here. So you'll find the gstrender.weapondof, and you'll set that from 1 to 0. And what that does is it makes your gun look way better when you're shooting it in game. I'll go show it real quick. It literally looks way cleaner. It looks like they forgot to add the setting in the game.
Is this cheating? Yeah, I would say this is cheating, right? Because you're changing something that they didn't want you to change because you're going into the fucking file system and whatnot and doing. Now, is it cheating like Cronus and stuff like that or wall hacks? No, but you're giving yourself an advantage that now other people do not have, right? Then it gets murky because some people are using different controllers, okay? Where they have their triggers where they can hit them faster than you and the sensitivity and the pro controllers and stuff like that. It starts to go down this like rabbit hole. We're just talking about cheating, okay? If you're manipulating something in the game and going into the files to give yourself an advantage, I would say that's cheating.
So that's a really easy way to make your game just feel a lot smoother and look better.
Yes, that's right.
Hey guys, you know, you can just go back into that file system and you know where it says 1, where shake happens. Well, now you can get rid of that. And you can just make it like a laser beam now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now gotten to the point where people are digging into the files to remove files from the video game to gain an advantage over you, to which this is something that console players cannot do. So is that cheating? I don't know, because apparently we've made it a giant gray area now. When
Yeah,
what's
it's definitely a gray area.
cheating and what's not. Even if it's blatant cheating, it's not cheating because somebody else, maybe what if, had a very good game and they look like that. So we can't mass report anybody who's doing what they're doing inside these clips. But at the same time, people going into the actual files and just...
You're going into the file system to change stuff.
removing files from the system and gaining advantage, that's also apparently not cheating, though half the user base can't do it. It's actually crazy to think that this is where we're at in gaming, where like within seconds of a game launching, the people are already cheating. But what makes it worse is that the people that are blatantly doing this, the people that you're seeing in these clips, they're deliberately doing this and they're putting these clips out so they can...
Of course. Well, the people that are doing it, they're also getting sponsored, or they have a affiliate program, or they get a percentage of the actual sales from other people buying the actual stuff. They're hustling. They're doing their job, right? They're trying to make some bank, right? Like I said, I sold candy in middle school and high school, right? I was a hustler then. These guys are trying to sell you cheats. They're trying to make the money. They don't care if you get banned afterwards. They're just trying to make their $25 percentage or something, whatever it is.
Be seen. Why? Because any publicity's
Oh, yeah. Take the rendering, bring it down. So even though you have the greatest graphics card of all time, you take away all the brush so no one can hide in a bush or anything like that. So your game looks like an absolute piece of shit so you can see people from across the map. Yeah, I always love and laugh at that one. I got a $4,000 system, but I lower all the graphics to nothing so I can see everyone across the country. I'm so fucking sweaty, and I also have a cheat code in there as well.
good publicity. So even though this person's cheating, and even though they might get banned 1,000 times in a row, some fucking retard out there is going to run out and they're going to purchase these cheats. Why? Because to somebody out there, it looked really, really fun to sit there and shoot people through the wall with a tank. This is why the Battlefield community fought so hard to get a server browser and custom servers back in Battlefield 2042, because at the end of the day, what's going to end up happening is the EA proper servers are going to be completely and overrun by hackers and cheaters and Cronus users, and then everybody's going to move into the custom servers where they can have actual moderation, and people like this tank guy will immediately be banned. I know this to be true because I used to play a shit ton of Battlefield 4, and people would join the servers and they'd be cheating and they'd be removed immediately because the communities that make the servers genuinely want the servers to be better. It's just sickening that we're less than 24 hours after the launch of Battlefield 6, and here we are. We can debate about time to kill, we can debate about the map evolution, we can debate about balancing and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, all of those things don't matter when eventually at some point this game is going to be overrun by the clips you're seeing in this video. It's sad, but it's true. Look at Call of Duty. Our only hope going forward is that EA, DICE, and the companies working under them, the 4 studios, actively work to not allow cheaters inside of the video game, because if they decide to go the route of Call of Duty where they do a ban wave every like few months, the game's gonna die.
100% would die. 100%. If they ban the people that are cheating, when the percentage gets too high, they have to make a statement. They have to say something that we ban certain people, but they got to get that percentage down to scare off the other people from giving it a break for a bit, right? Oh, they're cheating, they're banning people. So they say something, it stops for a couple weeks, couple months, then they start going back up because they stop caring. All right? It's like speeding. You speed, you get a ticket, all of a sudden you're like, I'm never going to speed again. I'm never going to speed again. I got a hit, they told me not to cheat. All right, I won't cheat. 2 months later, you're speeding again. 2 months later, you're cheating again.
Super duper quick, because in a game where there's 32 people on the other team and they're getting absolutely slaughtered by a tank across the map, that's going to create real frustration and people are going to definitely be leaving. And the longer that they don't address this problem, the longer they let...
The problem is they don't want to address it, because if they address it, though, that means their system's not working. And their system's supposed to work to stop the cheaters.
This happen, the longer that they don't make sure that they do decisive strikes, the worse the problem's going to get. These people need to be hardware banned. Obviously, people are going to say, oh, they could spoof. Yeah, but then every once in a while, they're going to get somebody who can't spoof. They're going to get that Cronus guy. They're going to get that dude on console who's running it through an Elgato into his PC to also have all the same PC cheats on his console. They're going to get the guy on PC who's cheating, and then that person's going to be hardware banned. And then that train wreck, that effect will then ripple out like a pond, and eventually you'll get enough of the real legit players who are unable to play any game without having to upgrade their entire console or buy a whole new PC, that the market will go down. Right now, they're too soft. They're too lenient on cheaters. They need to be...
Because they don't care, though. They just want you to buy the game. They tell you before the game comes out, we have the greatest anti-cheat ever. Right? That's to give you false pretenses of, okay, great. They're doing what the other game didn't do that came out last year that said the same thing, but then they failed. These guys say their system's better. So I'm going to trust them because last year it was bad, but this year is better. So this year has to be better than last year. So they buy the game, done. That's it. Once you get the sale, they don't care afterwards, because by the time you're playing and all the other stuff, you're not getting a refund. You're not getting anything. So you're stuck. You spent the $70, you spent the $80, you spent the $90, end game, right? So now you decide, well, do I want to continue playing this game or not? After you buy it, they don't care if you play for 10 hours or if you play for 1,000 hours. Okay? They got your $70. The only reason they would care is if they have other content coming out, which they do, okay, with season events and stuff like that, and they got to make sure they say something or do something or put something out saying, hey, we're stopping microtransact, or we're stopping people from cheating because there's microtransactions involved, okay? Because if there's cheating in the game, and I don't want to play your game, and you have microtransactions coming in the game, well, how am I going to buy them if I'm not playing your game?
banned. They need to be hardware banned, IP banned, any other way that they can be banned. There needs to be only one account per person, no alternates, none of that bullshit. So then it can't be like, oh, my brother was playing on my ult and he got me banned. No. There needs to be strict and decisive and immediate
Yeah, they won't do
actions.
that.
There needs to be no hold bars. There's no appeal process. If you are caught doing what this tank guy's doing and you are 100% cheating, there is no process that you can go through to be unbanned. You're done. You're gone.
Well, here, I'll put it this way, Krebsy. Regardless if you're talking about if there's more or less, okay? If I have 6 million people playing on PC, and let's just say 3%, okay, of the 6 million are cheaters, 1% are cheaters on PC. But now I also have 1% on a player base that has 500,000 or, you know, 1 million people play on console. There would be more cheaters per capita per person playing the game on that console than there would be on PC. So yes, there is a major problem on console with people cheating with the Cronus and stuff because there's more people cheating on consoles with console players than there is with PC to PC players playing the game.
I don't give a shit if you went to rehab and you rehabilitated yourself from being a cheater. There needs to be harsher punishments because right now there's almost no punishments. These people get banned and they just go buy a new account for $3. If they get banned on console, they just...
Let me rewind that for a second.
As if you are caught doing what this tank guy's doing and you are 100% cheating, there is no process that you can go through to be unbanned. You're done. You're gone. I don't give a shit if you went to rehab and you
I mean, I agree. If you get banned, if you're caught cheating, 100% without any doubt, then yeah, you should be banned. You shouldn't be able to come back.
Rehabilitated yourself from being a cheater. There needs to be harsher punishments because right now there's almost no punishments. These people get banned and they just go buy a new account for...
There is no punishment. Even when they ban the people, there is no punishment because they can literally just go buy another copy or get a different name, different IP. There is no punishment.
For $3. If they get banned on console, they just literally go and make a new account for free. So EA, please do not let this become a plague. Deal with the problem now. Don't let it spread and start massively banning people. I want to see fucking tears of...
Yeah, what the Cronus does, it makes it super easy for people to cheat that don't know anything about any of the other stuff. It's plug and play. The Cronus is plug and play. Convenience.
Cheaters who got caught on Twitter. I want to see it in friggin' Discord. I want to see it all over social media, TikTok clips, YouTube videos. I want to see people crying because we can't let Battlefield 6 turn into what Call of Duty is, which is just a cheater's haven. And to be honest,
Quintard says some of the devs might secretly be creating these cheating systems and know how to get around the systems as well. I mean, we could go down that rabbit hole, right? You can have someone that's maybe in the system that's feeding someone with the cheating system. Maybe they're friends, acquaintances, whatever. Hey, this is our system that we're using. Hey, let us know what you're using over there. Yeah, here you go. Here's your cut. That could be happening, right? That sounds like some CIS, NCIS shit, like a television show. Could it be happening? Sure. Do I think it's happening? I mean, if it is, I mean, wasn't there a story 2 or 3 years ago of someone doing something sort of similar to that, right? Can it be plausible? Yeah, 100%.
honest with you, with all the system access that we've allowed you to have, the least you can do is try to put forward a good foot with banning these cheaters and making it worth our time and our investment and our trust and letting you guys have access to our systems. Because right now, the only people that have been affected by
people will do some weird shit for money. You know what I mean? Do I think what you're saying is happening? I don't know. Could it happen? Sure. Plausible.
Or secure boot kernel level anti-cheat and all this extra bullshit that we had to go through are legit players, because clearly the cheaters are unaffected by all these extra systems you put in the way. Call of Duty is doing the exact same thing you are doing, and it's making it so people can't even launch the video game. Yet cheaters are doing it just fine.
Titan says, wild conspiracy theory. I doubt it personally. I mean, most people that cheat with their spouse or not is usually with a person that's close friends. Just saying. You could be like, I doubt my best friend is cheating with me, you know, on my wife or my girlfriend or whatever. But usually that's usually what happens. But you doubt it personally because you're like, it's unfathomable. You don't think it's happening. So, I don't know. Like I said, it's plausible.
Hell, some people who don't have certain hardwares can't even get into the game because they have to upgrade their whole entire console and or PC to have the specific things that these companies are looking for to get access to be able to play the game. So if you're going to ask us for kernel level anti-cheats and you're going to ask us to trust you, then maybe, just maybe, you should be dealing with this super harshly and very publicly. We can't have these closed door transparency things. We want to...
Yeah, no, PC is actually also using the Cronus when they use controller, Krebsy. So go check out this guy's channel, Shorty Index News. He's got 1.9 thousand subscribers. Interesting video as far as showing up about why aren't they not doing anything about the why are they not doing anything about the cheats, right? They have yet to come out and say, vocally, like, hey, yeah, we've done this. Even if they announce, oh, we got 97,000 or 97% like Call of Duty, that's 97% of the people that you caught, but not 97% of all cheaters. Right. So it's interesting. Look, like I said originally, when you look at a body of water in Florida, you think there's a gator. When you look at a multiplayer game, you think there's a cheater. Let's see. Cronus Zen. Let's see. The Cronus Zen has been selling between 4K and 10K units each month on Amazon for at least a year. And this is from a year ago almost. So you got about 120,000 units out there that they know of that, again, they're not, I don't know how you keep in track. They're just looking at basically, I guess, what people bought off of Amazon. All right. Cronus Zen has reached over 7,000 plus purchases within the past month. That was 7 months ago. Didn't we watch this? Didn't we watch this a couple of years ago? Or
this small device.
Maybe. Here, let's watch this while we're here. I'll put this man's video in the afterwards. It's the insane truth about the Cronus Zen full story. So let's watch this. So let's educate ourselves, shall we?
Right here is the Cronus Zen, and it has been one of the most controversial topics in the Fortnite community.
I'm not using it. It's right here. I'm not using it.
What about if you have two? What about if that one's broke?
Peterbot has this. He uses it.
And it's almost like you can't keep up unless you have something like this right here.
But what is this device and why is it such a problem? Well, I tried to find answers and it led me to its creator.
Okay, it's time to call them.
Contrary to popular belief, Cronus has been around for way longer than Fortnite. In fact, they've been around for over 10 years, and it has been a hot topic in many other gaming communities.
Oh, hold on a second. Cronus Max is almost as bad as aimbot because almost undetectable and only a few users gets banned, in my opinion. A third-party device on PlayStation 4, like Zim, which makes you play a mouse and keyboard, but games on PlayStation still detects it as a controller. Cronus Max is like USB, which is also inserts a PlayStation, it deletes the recoil, but you also can still have to aim. Doesn't sound like a big advantage. Nah, it's massive. Imagine Odin or LMGs not moving a single pixel while aiming. It also has been a problem for ages in Blackout too. To think this is also can be ever addressed, I hate it because it's also semi-secret cheating, but not too obvious to be hunted. I met a few times, but Cronus was also crossplay disabled. Guy had a World War II LMG with max speed attachments and didn't move a single pixel. That's unreal, even if it is God hands. And yes, it did beyond extreme instant kill damage.
But before we get into all of that, let's start with a bit of history. The Cronus Max V1 was the first ever model that got released in October of 2013. It was one of the first in gaming to solve a rather annoying problem. The problem of not being able to use your favorite controller on a different console. Well, Cronus Max made this possible. And this was also the main focus of their marketing.
Of course. I created a knife to cut steak, but a psychopath bought my knife and then stabbed somebody with it. I didn't make it to kill somebody. I made it to cut food.
They released videos of being the world's first in many aspects, like using a keyboard and mouse on Xbox One, and a few months after, Cronus Max V1 was discontinued to make place for V2. This version came with the introduction of scripts and mods, and not much later, the Cronus Max Plus was released. The device was now getting insanely useful with the addition of these new features, and with it came slight controversy. This first showed when they made a video about a double shot mod in Halo 2, and the Halo community probably wasn't happy about this based on the fact that the comments were turned off. But this was only the beginning.
Well, of course the comments were turned off. They didn't want to hear what anyone had to say. They're just showing their gameplay.
As more videos followed. Anti-recoil, rapid fire, drop shots, jitter, any mod you want, for any game you play. However, the hate and controversy was still minimal at this point. At Collective Minds, the company behind Cronus, was about to strike the deal of a lifetime. Around this time, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One were fierce competitors, and Activision, the publisher of Call of Duty, supported the PlayStation more due to better sales, easier developing for games, and an exclusivity deal. This meant that pro players in the Call of Duty League had to play on PlayStations, with its included Bluetooth controllers. However, there was a problem, because when you put 8 to 12 pros in close proximity at a LAN event together, Bluetooth interference is a given, resulting in controller lag. And this wasn't even limited to controllers, as fans standing nearby with smartphones caused problems as well. The solution to all of this turmoil? Wired controllers. But the USB function didn't work properly due to a design flaw by Sony, which meant that it
I'm sure they fixed it, right? Right?
Ultimately came down to using Cronus. Activision partnered up with the company and
Activision partnered up with the company. Of course they did. Of course they did. Why wouldn't they?
distributed them for every tournament, all the way up until 2021. But in 2018, the marketing strategy of Cronus changed with the introduction of a new product, the Cronus Zen.
The person that makes Call of Duty teamed up with the person that makes the device so you can cheat. You can't make this stuff up.
Fortnite was getting extremely popular in 2018, and Cronus was one of the many companies that jumped on the trend.
Talk about make the problem, sell the solution, huh? Hey, there's cheaters in Call of Duty. And by the way, you could also cheat in Call of Duty.
In fact, they made a special game pack for it, including a double pump mod, anti-recoil, aim abuse, rapid fire, and much more. Yes, your whole life has been
Yeah, I'm sure the most popular game on the planet, I'm sure there's not a lot of people using the Cronus Zen on consoles. I'm sure. I'm sure.
a lie up until this point, because Cronus has existed in Fortnite since the beginning. It just wasn't as popular as the Zen. Well, that changed when the Zen got released in June of 2020, because the tutorial posted after its release got almost 600,000 views. Their YouTube channel was now only posting videos about their modded game packs, and they had seemed to forgotten about its original purpose, controller compatibility.
Of course they did, because they were making money. Ah, man.
But do you blame them? Because they were...
No, it's called capitalism. They're like, hey, it's just very, very small niche community. It's meant to use your controller on the device you want to use. And then all of a sudden they're like, holy shit, Activision wants to use us and they're paying us more money. Wait a minute, we can make more and then sell it to people that want to cheat. Come on.
About to make bank. It was now 2020, something came into the world, I don't know, a virus or something, you might have heard of it, and everyone and their mother had to stay home at this point. This also meant that gaming tournaments were mostly hosted online from now on.
Of course. And that's why you see pros, when they play in person or when they play online, they play completely different. It's crazy. It's almost like they could be using some sort of device.
And with it came the ability to hide mods and other cheats. Now this wasn't just in tournaments. As we all know, the hacker and cheating problem Call of Duty Warzone faced. And Activision now claimed that they were fighting against the device they...
We're fighting against the device that we marketed with. That we included, like we paid them money to get in bed with them. But now we're looking to work with them. Interesting. Hey, I got an insider here. Right? Look at Cronus Zen device on consoles. Server-side technology and utilized machines learning paves the way of such devices and scripts to be detected. Activision is looking to work with Sony and Microsoft on these issues. Hey, we happen to have an insider. we teamed up with these guys early on in our tournaments. Now people are using this. Let me see if I can work out. I'll be a mediator with you guys.
Once partnered with, stating that they were looking to work with Sony and Microsoft on these issues. But what about Fortnite? Well, complaints from the community increased, rumors of it being bannable spread like wildfire, and every top controller player faced accusations. But not a single confirmed ban or word from Epic Games was made on the subject, causing more and more people to use it. To show you an example, Exalted made a video in which he accused Reed of using a Zen, but then put an Amazon affiliate link to the Cronus Zen in the description.
I love it. Hey guys, I'm going to show you about this Cronus Zen. And by the way, here's my affiliate link to Amazon if you'd like to pick up one. Fucking unbelievable.
On which you would get a part of the revenue made from sales through that link. 2 months after he uploaded that video on YouTube, he showed the results. And more than 80,000 people.
The dude Hold on a second. 255,000 subscribers. 255,000 subscribers. Put his affiliate link in there and sold 82,000. 82,000 just from that one person's stream.
People ordered a Zen from that link in those 2 months. And last week I asked him for an update.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did he say in a week?
Video on YouTube, he showed the results. And more than 80,000 people ordered a Zen from that link in those 2 months. And
2 months. 2 months, 82,000 people.
Last week I asked him for an update. He has now sold more than...
Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. You guys are delusional if you think there's not a lot of people. Well, there could be PC players, 30. Yeah, sure, they're PC players. But there's also, just off this one guy's link, I don't even know who this guy is. Okay, 209,000 people. And this video is 2 years ago? How old is this video? 3 years ago. You guys are delusional.
200,000 Zens through that link, which meant that more than 25% of the 700,000 people that watched that video bought a Zen. Remember, this is just one video. And
yeah, one person's video.
The total amount of Zens in Fortnite could be well over 1 million. Also, it doesn't really help that you can literally buy it anywhere. But the question is, does the Zen really make you better? And is it really that much of a problem?
Is there cheating in Fortnite? B, there's cheating in all multiplayer games, my friend.
Well, let's first debunk some myths about the Zen. Number 1. It doesn't give you aimbot. And number 2, it will not make you a pro if you already suck. Now don't get me wrong, the Zen will give you an unfair advantage. But it's not blatant aimbot and wall hacking as people make it out to be. Your aim assist will be stickier with soft aim, you will get macros for instant reset binds.
This is 3 years ago, by the way.
Anti-recoil and rapid
Let me see if I can find an updated version and see what it does now.
fire can be enabled, and there are plenty of other mods. The device is incredibly beneficial for players already competing at the top level, as it's undetectable and gives them the edge over similar competitors. But when we look at the average Zen buyer, then we see the opposite. Most people buy Cronus for scripts thinking it's like aimbot and going to turn them into a pro. I myself was one of these people. If that's you, then save your money, cause you won't be happy. And I think that most players will share this sentiment as they see the accusations made around the product and think it will make them into the new mongrel.
Cheating and free to play, just go to sleep? Bro, do you understand? It doesn't matter if it's free to play, it doesn't matter if it's paid. Cheaters are going to cheat because they want to cheat. They're going to cheat because they want to cheat. They want to have fun. They want to have fun shitting on people and make themselves think that they're better than everybody else, right? Especially streamers that do this competitively, or they get because they look better doing what they're doing, and that's what brings in the money.
However, we talked about the opinion of the community and the silence of Epic Games, but what about Cronus themselves? What do they think? Well, the statement they use most of the time on YouTube is that it's completely legitimate without any hacking. Well-known stores have sold their products for years. They point out their partnership in the past with Activision and state once again that it's not hacking. And they have a...
Well, why would they admit it's hacking? Why would they admit it's hacking? Of course it's not hacking. If they admit that it's hacking, then that would kill them. But if they just go, no, we're here to help you and do stuff like this, yeah, that's, of course, they wouldn't admit it.
Point here. It is in fact not hacking, and the discussion becomes difficult when it comes to the cheating argument. Yes, it has been a problem within competitive gaming and they definitely get used to cheat. But there are also many disabled and
I'm sure all 207,000 people that bought this 3 years ago off that one link from the person are all using it because they want to use their favorite controller on their favorite device.
elderly people benefiting from their creation. They received many testimonials in the Gamers with Disabilities area on their forum, and a quick search on the internet shows that it makes the experience for people with arthritis a lot better. But this wasn't enough for me. I wanted to give them a chance to defend themselves even further. So I decided...
Happens all the time, Quintar. Happens all the time, right? Then they get invited to a private event and it completely suck. But if I was one on a system, I wouldn't suck. Yeah, okay, yeah. Happened all the time. You actually saw it during the Battlefield event when streamers were from Call of Duty and they came over here and they weren't good. Like, what happened?
to email them. This is how it went. I sent them a request for an interview with included questions. They started working on my request, didn't reply back to me for a few days, then replied that they haven't heard anything back from me in a few days, asking if I still needed assistance, which I replied yes to, then got a mail back that they heard nothing back and closed the ticket, which I replied to that I would still like a reply back, and that was the end of the helpful conversation.
Oh, I'm sure it's very helpful. Very helpful.
I emailed Collective Minds, the owner of Cronus, messaged a Discord mod, and even called them.
Thank you for calling Cronus. Unfortunately, our call center is currently closed.
But nothing. So that is all the confrontation I can give you. But I hope that you still learned something today. Epic Games has a difficult situation ahead of them. And with Activision failing to take any action so far, I can't see them doing anything in the near.
Why would Activision try to do anything? They partnered with them. They're getting a kickback.
Near future either. The usage of Cronus Zen will keep increasing, and the pockets of the owners at Exalted will continue to get fatter. Link to buy a Zen in the description. Just kidding, of course. But this was the video.
Oh man, it would have been good. It would have been good.
Please leave a like if you enjoyed it. Check out my team Saints.
All right, let me put this gentleman's video in the description down below. Unbelievable. Oh, no one's cheating on console. Let's see. His name is all right, his link's in the description down below as well. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. The sad truth about Strike Pack's Cronus Zen. Okay, let's see. Cronus Zen. What time is it? It's 12. We can go a little longer. Cronus Zen. Let's see. Do they have a website? Is this their website? Cronus Zen shop. Yeah, I'm gonna put the Zen affiliate thing in there as well, Salty. $129.99. It's on sale, guys. It's on sale. You can get the extended or the upgrade. Okay. Unleash the true power of your gaming controller with the Cronus Zen, trusted over by 700,000 gamers. Let's see. It's like magic. Wand that levels playing fields. So hold on tight. It's time for you to use the underdog to shine. Supports all major consoles, including PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, Nintendo Switch. Supports all official and most third-party licensed controllers. Works with all hottest games. Intelligent crossover support. Using any support controller with any supported console. All buttons, triggers, touchpads, gray scopes, rumbles are automatically remapped. Advanced maps and key. Access the world's largest mod community with almost 1 million Cronus users. Access to thousands of free macro scripts and over 200 game packs built by pro gamers. Okay. Let's see, anything else here? No recoil now. I know recoil now. I'm sure that's not cheating. I'm sure that's not cheating, right? No recoil. Took me from Copper and Siege to Champion in 2 games. Literally game changing. As a PC player, coming back to console couldn't be any easier. Controls mean everything. Love or hate, you're Zen, baby. Yeah. So there you go. I love educating myself on stuff like this. I walked into a GameStop the other day. Feels good, man. I didn't even know. My son started laughing, right? I was with my son. It was Monday. We went, right? Because he was off from school. So I took him to lunch. And then we went to GameStop. And I walk into GameStop, and I shit you not, I walk in. I let him go in first. I pull the door open, right? I pull the door open. He walks in. Okay, I walk in, and I just see folding table after folding table after folding table of toys. Just toys. Okay? Toys at, I don't know, 75% of the store, around the walls and the thing, and it looked like a flea market. I stopped in my tracks, walked back outside the door. I did this. I walked back in, and I looked at the guy that was behind the counter, and I said, "Is this GameStop?" And he just started laughing. He's like, "Yeah." I go, "The hell happened?" I was like, "Did you rob a Toys R Us?" Like, there was no games. It was like 3 small sections of game, not even used games anymore, right? Very small section. I was like, the hell happened? It's like a flea market inside there. Just shit on top of it. Looked like a garage sale was going on. I think the power sale's going on, power member sale. I was like, what is going on? Yeah, it's crazy. I was like, what is happening to GameStop? We never go. I was like, oh, maybe we'll pick up a used game or something, right? Walk in. My son started laughing when I went back outside. I was like, what the hell is this? Amazing. Ray says, I would use it to play Helldivers on PlayStation 5. Wait, I don't own Helldivers on PlayStation 5. Never mind. Feels good says, I can't even see the walls at my local GameStop covered with figurines and toys. Krebsy says, 30 is sponsored by Cronus after this. No. Links in the description down below, though. Well, technically it is. Because now I linked the guy's video that we just watched, and he watched the video. Now you know who was the person that he watched, and that person has a link. I would love to know what his thing is. Sales numbers are now 3 years later. I wonder what it is now. There's only one left in the mall downtown. They closed 90% of them. We have, well, you guys have EB there still, though, in Canada, don't you? Don't you guys have EB games? Right? You guys have EB? Or is it, yeah, it's Electronic Boutique, right? You guys have EB up in Canada, don't you? You'll own nothing and be happy about it. Make sure you get a cut for advertising. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Yeah, it's EB, right? Yeah. I think they changed the EB games. We used to have EB over here. They got completely rid of them. Krabsy says Canada doesn't have real money. And you think they have GameStop? So, all right. That is going to do it. That's going to do it for us today on the Daily Grind. If you guys like it, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond, you can hit the become a member as little as $5. We'll be back not this afternoon. I have no stream this afternoon. I got to go to the doctor's appointment for my son, check out his back. And then tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Eastern. Join us on 30 and Still Gaming. Me and Sarge will play some game. I don't know what that game is yet, but we'll be playing some games tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. If I don't see you tonight, we'll see you tomorrow morning again for the Daily Grind on the Thursday edition, and then GXG tomorrow evening. Appreciate it very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
It's not on us to pay for their sins. Don't let the cycle keep rolling again. Stop buying broken buggy games. Don't feed the fire, don't play the games. Vote with your wallet, break the chain. Stop buying broken buggy games. Hey! We hold the power in what we choose. Together we win or alone we lose. So take a stand, don't be the fool. Make them earn it, that's the rule. Stop buying broken buggy games. We want quality, not empty names. Gamers United will make the change. Stop buying broken